Hey guys, good morning. Coach Jen T here. So I'm just checking in with you guys. It's been a couple weeks since I've made a video, which is extremely unusual for me. Um, and my dog has plastic. Stand by. Do you guys ever just, I don't know, I don't have an agenda today as far as like what I'm going to talk about, but I did pull out a couple grocery finds and I was thinking I would just kind of chit chat a little bit about, eating out of emotional or stress or boredom. I do find a lot of my clients that join my program, that's one of the biggest things that they struggle with is like, you know, when they're bored or anxious or tired or stressed out about something, they tend to turn to food, therefore overeating and feeling bad about it. So we work on that like relationship with food quite a bit. We also, of course, have strategies in place that work well, and of course one of those things is eating well and regaining focus on like controlling your nutrition, and that is huge. We also make sure that people are aware that there's no such thing as perfection. There's no such thing as perfectly linear progress. You're going to see this, and that's normal. And what matters most, you guys, is that when you have those lows, you stick with it. You focus on those non-negotiables that you and your coach have worked together to establish. You stick with those no matter what. And those things are something you're confident that you can do. And focusing on those can really help you stay on track. But there are some tips when it comes to emotional eating, or eating out of stress, or maybe you're bored and you kind of try to fill that void by eating food. So that's where like we can get in trouble sometimes. And I know from my personal experience with my clients that when you know you have a lot of demands, you've got families, you've got work, you have other things that really need your attention, and maybe you're that type of person. If you think I'm talking to you, maybe I am, but maybe you're that type of person that just has a really hard time saying no. You pick up extra tasks that you don't necessarily need to do, and you find it hard to set those boundaries. And that's where it's like, oh my gosh, I need to find something that I can be in control of. And sometimes that is turning to food, eating too much food, grabbing chips out of the cupboard, that kind of thing. So we're just going to go over some quick tips on how to help handle those situations when you might be bored, you might be stressed, you might be turning to food because life is hectic and haywire. And self care, you guys, doesn't have to be all or nothing. If you are an all or nothing type of person, you're rarely going to end up having it all. And you're usually going to end up with nothing, because that all in or all out mindset can get us in trouble, make us feel restricted. It's not sustainable. So I practice what I preach, you guys. I live my life. I am not perfect, but I do approach every day and focus on what's in my control. And I do have those tough days too. I feel like we are our own biggest critic. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I think I am the hardest person on myself. And it's even hard to like coach my clients. Like, I see it. I see it. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up or feel guilty for not making like the best or most optimal choice for yourself. It is okay. You are human, and you're going to have those days. And there's going to be those stretches in your year where you're just not feeling as motivated. What matters is you don't give up on yourself, because you are worth it, and you don't have to completely drop everything to still make progress and reach towards your goals. And at the end of 2023, we're already 1 month in. At the end of 2023, if you can stick with those small things, you're going to notice a big difference in how you feel at the end of the year. Just keep going one day at a time. That being said, here are some tips. Number one is to know your triggers. We all have different trigger foods per se. So, what are those foods that you feel you just cannot control yourself? And it's completely normal if you can't. For someone, it might be chips, a specific kind of chip. For someone, it might be the box of cereal. For someone, it might be the cupcakes and cookies that are sitting there that are like fresh baked and you can't stop at one. Everybody has a trigger. Maybe it's the peanut butter jar. So you want to know your triggers, you guys, and you want to set your environment up for success. We all have those red light foods and green light foods. Take those red light foods that are your triggers, not saying cut them out completely, but the best way to use moderation with those foods is to just keep them out of your home environment. Make the healthier choice the easy choice. Make it easier to control like impulsive decision making when times are tough, and just not have them in your house, in your cupboards, in your fridge. Make those red light foods more of like a special occasion, and then look at those red light foods that you love and see how you can make them a little bit better, a little bit healthier, maybe less added sugar. Maybe you find a healthy swap, for example, like a pint of ice cream Ben and Jerry's in the fridge. It's your trigger, you're going to eat the whole thing, you can't control yourself. Go for something better. Maybe it's a low fat frozen yogurt, maybe bars or single serving sizes, or maybe it's like Halo Top ice cream, which has a little bit of protein in it and a little bit less calories. So finding those things that work for you based on you and your triggers. If you are keeping those trigger foods in your house, you're not doing yourself any favors. So just keep that in mind. And again, nothing is restricted. Number 2 is to be prepared. If you have healthy food on hand, protein packed, nutrient packed, lots of veggies, you are going to eat healthy food because it's there, it's ready. So, how can you get protein prepared for the week? How can you get veggies prepared for the week, whether they're cut up or whether they're already pre roasted or whether they're steam and bag? Just keep it easy for yourself. Good nutrition and proper nutrition does not need to be complicated, it can be very simple. For me personally, I think I showed you in another video, like I have just a big Tupperware. When I get home and I'm starting to cook something, like the other day we had salads for dinner with grilled taco meat. No, taco meat. So it was taco salads. As I was cutting those vegetables, I just cut all the vegetables. Why not? If you have the cutting board, you have the knife out, cut them all up. Throw all of the sliced bell peppers and cucumbers and carrots and peeled and whatever in that tote, in that Tupperware, so it's ready and you can just grab handfuls of what you need, and it's just so much easier. Forefront, if you're looking for something to crunchy to snack on, grab those vegetables, dip it in hummus, dip it in Greek yogurt dressing, whatever it is, you guys, it's better than reaching for the chips or the cookies. Number 3 is to keep a journal, whether it's a journal of your feelings, a journal of your actions, a journal of like what you're eating and how you're feeling during those times, like what's your hunger level, how full are you satisfied, are you feeling kind of stressed out and that's why you're reaching for the chips. Keeping a journal in some way, shape, or form is just so huge. In my coaching program, we do keep a food journal. Most people do it. It is optional. Some people take days on, days off of tracking, but it just brings awareness. So that is what journaling does. Whether you're writing down what you're eating and drinking, whether you're writing down your feelings, you're bringing awareness. And that is the key, you guys, to positive change. Number 4 is to interrupt the pattern. So if you're keeping a journal, you guys, you're going to notice a pattern. Like, this is the thoughts that goes in through my head at this time, and this is when when the wheels fall off. Or you might notice that this is a certain time of day. Maybe it's between 3 and 4 p.m. You have a habit of like reaching in the candy dish at work. Or maybe it's at night, you get home from work and you're just feeling stressed out, so you're looking for something. Maybe it's just mindlessly munching and picking while you're cooking dinner. So be prepared, you guys, and know your triggers. If you find that pattern of what you're feeling, what you're doing, how can you interrupt that pattern? Maybe it's being in a different room in the house during that time of day. Maybe it's going for a drive and like that's your new habit, or maybe you get your shoes on and you go for a quick walk. Anything that's interrupting the pattern, you guys, is going to help you break the cycle. And that's what you're going for, breaking the cycle of what you're noticing when you are keeping that journal. Number 5 is to take the time to pause. Take a deep breath. You guys, take a second to look at the clock on your watch or on your clock on the wall, wherever you are. Tell yourself 10 minutes, tell yourself 15 minutes, whatever it is, take that time for yourself to just breathe, think clearly. Deep breaths, you guys, is so clarifying for your mind. And you might be surprised if you're really craving something. If you just look at the clock and tell yourself 10 minutes, you might move on to something completely different or find other ways to calm yourself so that you can move on to a different task rather than turning to food when you are not hungry. Number 6, we've already talked about this. I'm not going to beat it like a dead horse, but it is ditching the all or nothing approach. Again, if you always try to be all in or all out, you're usually going to end up nowhere, and you're going to either end up plateauing and maintaining, which is fine, or it's going to put you in the opposite direction of where you want to go, and therefore establishing a very unhealthy relationship with food. Number 7 is to plan for treats. Intention is everything. So, what is your intention at the birthday party? What is your intention tonight after work? What is your intention on Saturday when you go hang out with friends? Intention is everything, you guys. You want to plan ahead. For example, in my coaching program, we do track our food. And if we know we're going out to Shimbashi or we're going out to Pat's Pizza, we plan ahead. We're like, hey, tonight, what is worth it to me? The pizza might be worth it. The margarita at Margaritas might be worth it. We track it and plan it ahead of time and make it fit for us because it's worth it to us. It lets go of that guilt when you set those expectations for yourself and intentions on how you want to feel. So sticking with that plan by planning ahead is huge. So keep that in mind, you guys. Just plan what's worth it to you. And then when you get in that situation, the thinking is taken out of it because you already know this is what's worth it to me. If something else comes up, nope, I don't even feel like having that. I don't need the extra dessert serving, or I don't need that ice cream that someone's offering me because this is not worth it to me and it was not in my plan. Number 8 is to seek support, whether that's coaching with a non-judgmental coach that is there for you, not to tell you what to do, but to listen to you and to help guide you in the right path, or finding a friend, an accountability buddy, someone that has similar goals to you. Support can be huge. And if it really does boil down to stress eating because of other things like maybe severe anxiety or depression or something traumatic that happened to you, seeking support in a more in-depth way, such as finding a counselor, therapist, something like that, can really help you get over that hurdle. Number 9 is to prioritize sleep. Don't eye roll at me because that is an unsexy topic, I know, but you should be sleeping at least at minimum 6 hours a night, and 8 hours to 9 hours is even better. And what matters even most is the quality of that sleep. Are you sleeping restfully or are you tossing and turning? You want to prioritize that sleep, you guys, because if you're not using that time in the night to recover, that is when your brain and your body completely resets. And if you get a great night's sleep, it is so huge, impactful for your next day. It helps you make better food choices. It lowers your stress level. It actually naturally has an ability when you get proper sleep to help you like lose body fat and lose weight if that is your goal, to preserve lean muscle because you're not in fight or flight mode. You're actually rested, you're recovered. You can think more clearly and you can have more control over your choices. So you guys, if that's the one thing you focus on is sleep, everything else will fall into place. And I'm going to go ahead and skip down because there are a lot more, but I really love this one and I'm running out of time. But the last one I want to go over, you guys, I think it might be number 10, is to rewrite your script. You are the writer of your chapter book in your own life. And you might have these self-placed labels on yourself like, I always do this, or this is just who I am. I suck at this, or I don't eat breakfast and I don't like protein and I blah, 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 blah. You're placing labels on yourself as the type of person that, and you can rewrite that. You can rewrite who you are and who you want to become based on your goals. Of course, you are amazing the way you are, but ask yourself this question. If you're here in this group and looking for support, ask yourself, how is this working for me? What are you doing in your life right now that's working well? Great. Keep doing that. What are you doing in your life that's not working well for you? What's not working well, and how can you change that? Rewrite your script. Look at something today that you can do just a little bit better than yesterday. Focus on that, master that, and then move on to the next thing. And you guys would be surprised at how much you can change in a year. 2023 is still early. So make sure you guys focus on what you want to improve. We all have something. That being said, we have something we want to improve on, but we don't necessarily want to change who we are. There's no new year, new you. No, that's not how it works. It's the same you, just a new and improved, better you, as far as like feeling like the best version of yourself, having more energy, feeling more positive for the people around you, and most importantly, taking control of what's going on in your own head, because self-care truly is like a psychology. That being said, we're going to slip right into just a few things that I have for groceries. You guys, it's all basically the same stuff, maybe one or two new things, but it's just stuff that we keep on hand. This is the Kodiak Power Cakes Flapjack Waffle Mix. This is the flavor cinnamon oat. If you love pancakes and waffles, this is just a super great way to add more protein, because a serving is 14 grams of protein. You can add even more protein by adding egg whites into your batter, or even a scoop of protein powder, or if you have milk that has protein too. You can really go a long way with packing in protein in the morning. If you're not like into eggs and you want something like pancakes, this is great, and this flavor is really good. Next is this RX nut butter, and this is the honey cinnamon peanut butter flavor. We're actually getting low on it. You do have to stir it. It's quite oily, but it's very great ingredients. It's a nice alternative if you are trying to cut back on processed food, things on toast or whatever. I like to actually put this on like in oatmeal. Next, I don't do a whole, I try not to do a lot of sweeteners that are artificial, but sometimes having something like this that's 1 tablespoon for 10 calories, it's jam or jelly. It's kind of saves you a lot of calories in the day, especially when a little bit goes a long way. This is I don't like the name of it, Skinny Girl. I don't like the word skinny, but Skinny Girl sugar-free cocktail inspired preserves. This is strawberry rosé. Tastes like strawberry jelly, and a little bit like on a waffle or a pancake or on a piece of toast. You can go far with that little bit, and you save a lot of added sugars. We really like these Oikos Triple Zeros. I've shared these before. We buy them now in the individual packs like this because it's great for on the go. You can toss an extra 15 grams of protein into your day. You guys, if you have those protein targets and you can do dairy and yogurt, these are great. We also like the vanilla ones, and you can eat them right out of the thing. Add berries for some extra fiber. Absolutely delicious. The Butterball turkey sausages, you guys, are already pre-cooked, super quick and easy. 2 patties is 110 calories, and if you are in my program and tracking your macros, it's 7 grams of fat. There's no carbs and 10 grams of protein in 2 sausages. Talk about being able to, balance those macros out just by tossing in something like a turkey sausage into your morning breakfast. I still can't get enough of the sweet chili G. Hughes dipping sauce. I actually really put it over everything. Last night we had sirloin steak tips and Brussels sprouts that were air fried, tasted like roasted, sesame seeds, sweet chili sauce, done. So good. It adds a lot of flavor. I actually put that on my eggs almost every morning too. It's very sweet / spicy. Last but not least, if you have kids or even if you don't, I found these and I really think that it's another great grab and go, not necessarily for protein per se. It does have 5 grams of protein, but Laura loves these. They're the Noka brand superfood smoothie. This is blackberry, vanilla, and prebiotic fiber. So looking at the label here, the ingredients are great. It's banana, apple, blackberry, and then it's got flax seeds, lemon juice. It's just like a nice whole food alternative to those other pouches that have lots of added sugars in them that kids like. But 110 calories, you get 22 carbs, 6 grams of fiber, 5 grams of protein, and 1.5 fat. So I can also see this being something that would be good as like a pre-workout if you are into like fueling with carbs before or after or during a workout. Just having like a pouch like this, you just like screw the top off and suck it down. And I will say, you guys, it is organic. I will say they are not cheap. They are a little bit expensive, but it supports gut health. It's got plant protein. So if you can't do like dairy or anything like that, it's a good 5 grams of protein alternative with good whole foods and healthy fats. That is it. I just want to thank you guys, lastly, just for being in this coaching group. This is a community that I started back in 2012. And if you're new here, I appreciate you being here. I think my favorite thing is when I do check into the Facebooks or the YouTubes or whatever. I just really love looking at the comments. You guys are all supporting each other by commenting with your ideas, throwing out like your favorite things, and also just kind of realizing we are all human and we're all here for different reasons, but we're all supporting each other toward the same goal of just like being a better version of ourselves. And you guys, that is just so important, so incredibly important. That being said, I think it's it's definitely the first Monday in February. I want to say the 6th. That's what's being thrown out in my mind. I have a new coaching program starting up. If you're already in my coaching program, completely don't even look at this part. But if you are not in my coaching program yet and you want to be, I am onboarding just a few new clients. We've got a couple spaces left, I think. I just opened up enrollment. And basically, we get you started by once you make payment, which you'll see in the event page or pinned at the top of this group, or in my Facebook group, you'll see pinned. There's a payment link there. As soon as you pay, you will get an email invitation to my app. You fill out a client consultation form so I can learn more about you, what your goals are, and we get you prepped and ready to make those changes to reach your goals. Let me tell you right now, when like beach weather comes, when barbecue weather comes, which is not that far away, believe it or not, you're going to be so thankful you started now. February is just a very popular time to start taking control of your nutrition, dialing things in a little bit more, and just like feeling your best, ready for springtime. I hope you guys have a good day. Any questions, message me. I love to hear from you. Have a good day.